Hi, I'm Jeff Nygaard, three-time Olympian, twice for the indoor, once for the beach, MVP of the AVP in 2003. I was NCAA Player of the Year in 94 and 95, as well as an NCAA champion in 93 and 95. We don't need to talk about 94 for those of you who support Penn State, and I think that's what happened. Today's pro tip, we're going to talk about the attack. And what I'm going to do is I want to break up the attack such that we just work on body mechanics and mostly the arm swing, where the arm needs to be, what it needs to be doing, what this arm, my opposite arm needs to be doing, what my plant looks like, what the step close looks like, such that we can functionally break it down and improve the attack for you. I'm a left side player, which means that I'll probably be attacking for what indoor would be called like a 5 set, an outside set or whatnot, but I personally like my set to be inside, basically right about there, such that I've made a pass, I step out a little bit such that I've created some type of an angle, and my approach always goes in the direction of the meat of the court. If I do that, I have good power to the angle where I can snap it sharp, I can drive it high and deep, or I can snap the ball down the line. If I came out this way, that'd be hard for me because I'm approaching this way, and to hit it in the angle, you don't have your whole momentum behind you such that you can drive it with pace. It's more of a cuff shot at this point. And from this point, my attack strong would be area 7, which is outside, and that's bad. So we want to put ourselves in a position where we're attacking to the greatest portion of the court as possible in any given situation. Let me get this ball quick. I personally like a 3-step approach. And as a right-handed hitter, what that's going to mean is my last 2 steps have to be right-left. The reason for that is when I go right-left, if I'm drawing my arm back here with my elbow high, which is a big thing you need to focus on, my right hip is going to go back perpendicular to the net. The reason for that is body mechanics. If I go in and I approach, my feet are stagnant and parallel, my hips are parallel to the net. If I'm trying to hit the ball into the angle, this is the only way I can do it with all shoulder. And if I'm only using my shoulder, I'm not maximizing any portion of my momentum or body mechanics. The reason for that is my hips are closed off. The only way for me to hit with power on this net with this orientation is to swing this way through the ball. And that means I'm hitting way outside the court. That's bad. So what we needed to do, 3-step approach, I go left, right, left. And if you'll notice, I've approached to the meat of the court and my right hip is engaged. It's open such that when I start my swing, I'm coming back this way and it initiates the contact. It initiates the torque and it initiates the swing. Now with this, I can drive the ball to the angle. I can drive the ball deep. I can go off the block, or I can snap the ball down the line, all with my torque and my rotation, making me a much more effective with a greater range on my attack. So I'm a better hitter. And that's all because I've got that right hip back by getting one foot in front of the other and focusing on getting that hip all the way back to start my swing. Next thing that I want to focus on is what my left arm is doing. I'm a right-handed hitter, but the left arm is the one that's more often than not just completely forgotten about. What the left arm needs to do is if I'm taking my approach, go left, right, left. Needs to go all the way back, and then we need to drive it and extend it as fully as possible. Muscles are basically big rubber bands. If you take a rubber band and you stretch it a little bit, it's going to snap back, but it's not going to be that strong or that powerful. If I take that same rubber band and extend it as far as possible and let it go, it's going to snap back and be much more powerful and explosive. From the ground up, it's explosive. Here, driving straight out of the sand, and then this left arm needs to be fully extended. The problem I see 99% of the time with most hitters is that when they come up to attack, the left arm gets about this level. This is as high as more often than not people get their arm. What happens here is if you look from this camera here, if I come in and I get my arm this high, my shoulders stay at this level, such that when I start my swing, I'm only swinging at this height. My shoulders are here, they rotate through, and they stay at this level. But if I've done everything the same except got full extension with my left arm all the way up, now you'll notice my shoulders are out on axis, so that when I swing, now all of a sudden I am way up high. It's rotated through to this point. This shoulder now is way up high. So instead of coming in here and hitting at this point, where I'm only afforded a certain range and distance this way, now I'm way up here where I've gained power, range, pretty much everything, extension. I'm a much more effective hitter. And for me personally, whenever I've swung down here, it just hurts my shoulder. But if I'm way up here fully extended, it never hurts. And that for me is a huge key, especially in my 50th decade of playing this game. So those are most of the mechanics. On the beach, another thing that I need you to focus on, you're not trying to jump behind the ball and float a good distance into the ball. If you do that, you're never going to be an effective hitter. Well, those are the dynamics that we need to employ when we're doing our attack on the beach. Obviously, there's a lot more to it, but if you use those as often as possible, you're maximizing the effect that you can have coming to attack the ball, making good contacts, going straight to the ball and making the play. One more quick thing while I'm thinking of it. And this goes back, and this is the same thing for jump serving. Our first steps need to be patient but explosive to the ball. Meaning, if that's my set there, say I've got two different types of sets. If I'm in my starting position here and I've got a set that's inside, I want my first step right to that point of contact. I want to be patient such that I'm going straight here. Same thing, if the set goes outside for whatever reason, my first step needs to be to that play, to that point of contact. Problem that I see more often than not is somebody gets a little too eager and they start going in there, sets inside, they've made two approaches. You'll do a little zig and a zag where you're coming this way, you recover, and then you make this approach back in. That is never, ever as effective as if I've waited here long enough to see where that set is and just explode straight to the point of the contact, straight to the ball. And if I do something where the set's out there and I've come in this way expecting it here and it's shanked out this way, now I'm in a scramble mode to where I'm hitting like this. Now I'm just an ineffective hitter and I might as well just give them the point. If I've waited, if I had the discipline and the patience to wait, at this point, see that ball, I can make this approach to where now I'm giving myself a chance to attack the ball and be a good hitter. Hope all these tips help you. Good luck. I'll see you on the beach.